What's good, Spicy Ramen listeners, little spicy noodlers?
My favorite spicy noodles out there. Come on now.
Yeah, what
Is up spicy ramen? What is up spicy ramen?
Alright, so to start off the first episode, we gotta have some spicy ramen. We got the sriracha here. Not sponsored or
Not
anything,
sponsored.
but see, just so you know, we're not phase drugging our videos.
Oh, holy dude. Let me get a little mix in. Yeah, go ahead and drizzle that sucker on there.
Alright, so it's our first episode. Basically, we're about to graduate high school, so we wanna interview a bunch of people from the school, get some memories, recorded.
Yeah,
So
There sure are a lot of interesting people at our school, I feel like, and a lot of interesting people out there. I really do believe that. And we just we just really want to make sure that we document all this.
yeah, because it's once in a lifetime, really. We'll never be able to go back.
Huh?
Same time.
Oh, mine's all right. First bite. 1, 2, 3. Ready after me.
Are a little bit spicy, not too bad though.
It's a little spicy. Like, we couldn't go full spice for first episode because, like, we ain't about it like that. So, Cam, like, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
5 years. No, I don't plan on going to college. Plan on going into real estate right out of high school. I don't know. I'll definitely be selling real estate. Hopefully.
Slinging dope.
Yeah, pretty much. So where do you see yourself? Right out of college?
Freshly out of college with my fresh degree. I'm dipping into some of the computer science field.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna be living in a van.
Where are you gonna travel around to?
Just
anywhere?
I was really thinking about going to the beach, cause like, me, like, surf and turf baby, like, slamming dirties out there is crazy.
That is true. You can chirp at major birds at the beach and stuff.
Chirping at the birds, but not really though, not actually. And then also, a little snow sportage, head up to the mountains in the winter.
But North Carolina, like Mr. Land, or
North Carolina, we ain't got them free seeds, got them free seeds.
well,
Holy dude, you just did spill a little bit. How many minutes do you think we're at?
like one. It's good ramen though.
So I really feel like our ambitions for this are quite high, actually. This isn't going to be just some stigamy bigamy.
Yeah, it's gonna be the next Joe Rogan.
We actually we talked to Joe Rogan before we started this, like,
Yeah. He's just more like down to earth than I thought.
like,
Before I talked to him, just right before this, but
we also like talked to him about the name of our podcast, which is Spicy Ramen Podcast, and he was a little confused at first about why we chose Spicy Ramen Podcast.
he just didn't like know the background.
He
around
didn't. He didn't know the background around it, and I don't know if that's something you want to get into, because I know it.
For the first episode, I feel like we should.
All right, because it is quite personal.
Yeah, it all started. We went to Japan actually.
Yeah.
And
When was that? 2019. We went to Japan.
Yeah, right before COVID. Yeah.
It was right before everything shut down, so it was like it was kind of like the one thing that really like we were memorable about during quarantine and everything. Was our trip to Japan, I feel like.
Yeah, so we went there and then we stayed there for quite a while, and then everything got shut down, so we were like stuck there.
High school students going to Japan, a place where we don't even know the language or anything. We did not have a lot of money at all.
Like all we knew was ramen. So, like, we just go up, but we would just go up to like the people that lived there, and we were like ramen, and they would just give us like ramen. That's just like what we survived on. That's why it always has like that special place in our hearts. But
I mean, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. Ramen, it's not the best. It's not the best thing you could have. It's not the most healthy, and it's certainly. It is simple. That's the thing about it. So I feel like that definitely does kind of like entail what this podcast is all about.
It tells a lot about like the person. Like if you make it with too much water, it's just like
it's soupy. Are you eating a soup or are you eating noodles? You got to have the right
Exactly.
the right amount of water, the right amount of broth, the right amount of time cooking. It's really an art, I feel like, and that's why I feel like this podcast name, the Spicy Ramen Podcast, it's not just a podcast, it's art, I feel like.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, next week we plan to get 2 guests on every week, just kind of put a show on for y'all, document everyone from high school. We'll be moving on.
We'll
like
be moving
5
on
weeks.
soon. A couple more weeks. And we just really want to get this down and out there for y'all to enjoy and be memorable about. I mean, this is something that's going to like carry you through the rest of your life.
Yeah, it's really gonna impact a lot.
You have a little spillage soaking into the table here.
Oh, it's fine though.
Are you sure?
Yeah, Mom said. I think we should address the elephant in the room. We are neighbors. Should we tell them that?
Yeah. So this isn't something that just happens naturally, I'd say. Like it was like concocted, I feel like is a good word for it. I don't know.
Basically, I moved in to the new house, and we were taking a stroll around the street. And I was just walking up the street, and I see none other than Cody playing basketball in his driveway. So I go up to him, I talk to him, he's like, "What's up?"
I was a little nervous, and I'm just gonna say that I was a little nervous.
Yeah, but
Yeah, new kid on the. I don't know about you, but I'm getting a little sweaty with the spicy ramen in my system.
yeah, that's true though. Yeah, we'll give the guests more sriracha, so it's spicy.
Nah, but we're not gonna face truck it or anything.
Yeah.
I want their noodles to be dyed red. So back to the story about how we became neighbors. He came over and I was playing basketball in the front yard, and
Yeah, and I basically I was like, "What's up? I'm your neighbor. Do you want to play some basketball?" And he was like, I could tell he was nervous. He was like, "No." So I basically just challenged him to a 1v1, and I wasn't gonna take it easy on him. So
he didn't.
yeah, I just basically destroyed him,
I'm not gonna say that.
like on and off the court.
I'm not gonna say. He did, in fact, destroy me in that 1v1. He destroyed me on and off the court. There's often times where I'd be home alone during the summer. He'd come over, destroy me.
Like on the basketball court, and then that's basically how we started. And then should we tell them about Parkour Master? So it was 2016.
2016, good years. This dog, he got extra dirty this one day, and not gonna lie, he was
very-
due for a wash.
Yeah.
Due for a wash. And what else are you supposed to do when the dog's dirty? You gotta wash him. Yep.
It's true. So he was scrubbing him, and the time came when he was done, and he had to get over the fence, but he didn't want to open the gate because he was Parkour Master. So he tried to parkour over the gate, and
I did.
He was all wet and like slippery.
Let's just say the dog was not the only one that got a little suds on him.
So he hopped over the gate, slipped, and
Slipped on the top of that gate. I was young and I was innocent.
I mean, he didn't know any better. I was like,
I didn't know any better.
but he hopped over, and that foot
hopped
just slipped right off, and he broke his arm
Mm-hmm.
right in front of me. Like I was his neighbor. Like I felt like I was supposed to help him.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. I know it really hit hard whenever I was laying there crying and I see Cameron load up in his go-kart and drive back to his house. I mean,
I just left him there.
he left he left me there laying down. I mean, I had a broken arm, no parents home, nothing. And I see my only hope driving down the road away from me, acting like nothing even happened. I'm sitting there crying and I'm like, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? And at this point, I don't know what was going through your head.
I was basically like, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? And so I just hopped in the go-kart and made like a banana and split.
That really stuck with me, It really did.
Basically, a couple years went by, and Cody moved schools, and he ghosted me. He stopped talking to me for about 3 years, and then started playing Fortnite together, and we became friends.
Yeah, and Fortnite really rekindled everything. I really do feel like. I mean, that really it spoke our love for Japan, and that's actually where we talked about the trip and where we planned it all out, and actually ended up going there.
Yep. So speaking of Fortnite, like, what's like your favorite skin to play? Like personally, I just like the default skin.
Renegade Raider.
Yeah.
See, I know you're a fan of the default skin because you rocked that for a while. You never spend money on video games, right?
Never spent. I've only spent money on one video game. It was My Singing Monsters. But then eventually, this is the lesson it taught me. I spent like $5 on My Singing Monsters, and like the next week, the iPad that I had as a kid broke, and I could never get that money back.
What a shame. I mean, truly, it kind of seems like a waste of money at that point.
Exactly.
And I'm not gonna lie, I wish something like that had happened to me in my youth, because that I would have saved a lot of money. I would have saved my parents a lot of money. I would have saved myself a lot of money with these online purchases.
So those of you watching, don't do it. Don't buy those V-Bucks. It's not worth it to get that lifeguard skin.
So I mean, I guess, you know, we've talked a little bit. This was a short episode, certainly, and I feel like we're just trying to get this one out there so we can continue to make more episodes and more exciting videos.
Start getting guests on there, interviewing them for you. So let us know who you want to see on the podcast.
Drop it down in the minutes.
Drop it down in the comments below. So thanks for tuning in to this week's Spicy Ramen.
And we'll see y'all next time.